Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the different tests on stones. So last class we were studying the basics of stone as a building material, right? So similar to what you have studied in the case of brick, in case of stone also, stone is used as a construction material and it is expected that a large number of loads will be coming on the stone during its service period. So in order to make sure that the stone is of good quality, we have to conduct a lot of tests. Depending on the test result, we can classify or we can tell whether the stone is good or bad. So stone also need to be subjected to different kinds of testing, right? So now we are going to see what are the different tests to be conducted on stone. The tests conducted on stone are mainly, first one is crushing strength. What is the crushing strength of the stone? We have already discussed crushing strength of brick, and we have used the value of crushing strength of brick to classify the brick as first class, second class, third class, etc. Right? You remember all those things. So similarly, we have to determine the compressive strength, or we have to determine the crushing strength of stone also. Second test, which is very much important in case of stone, is the water absorption in stone. How much water can be absorbed? This water absorption test is also very familiar to you. You have conducted the water absorption test in the case of brick. Similar to compression test, water absorption test was also used to classify the brick into class 1, class 2, etc. Right? Next test is the toughness index test. That is something new which you have not studied. Then you have the hardness test of stone, and all these tests are related to the strength of stone, and there is another set of tests that is related to the durability of stone, durability test of stone. Okay, so crushing strength, water absorption, toughness index, hardness, and durability. These are the 5 tests to be conducted on a stone. Now when we discuss about the durability test of stone, the durability test of stones can be classified into several classes. One being the Smith test, another one being the Brad's test. Smith, Brad's, then acid test, and you have the crystallization test. So total I have told about the different tests. I'll just tell out the name once more. Then we'll go into the detailed explanation of each and every test. Okay. So crushing strength of stone, water absorption in stone, toughness index of stone, hardness of stone, and durability of stone. And durability of stone can be determined by different tests. The different tests being, one is the Smith test, then you have the Brad's test, then you have the acid test, and then you have the crystallization test. These are the different tests available for determining the properties of building stone. Okay. Now we are going to see each and every test in detail. Okay. So the first test is known as the crushing test of stone. We'll present one screen. Crushing test or compression test. Okay. So what you are doing in crushing test or compression test is we are determining the compressive strength of stone. To determine the compressive strength of stone, we are taking a cubical sample of the stone, right? We are taking a cubical sample of the stone of sizes 40, 40, 40 or 50 mm into 50 mm into 50 mm. A cube having length of 50, breadth of 50 and height of 50. Then we are making the edges of the cube very much smooth by dressing. Actually, this test can be conducted on 2 kinds. It can be conducted on dry stone as well as on saturated stone. If you want to conduct the test on dry stone, first of all, you have to dry the stone. For drying the stone for 24 hours of time, you are placing it in oven. Here you can see that at a temperature range of 105 degrees centigrade for 24 hours. And after oven drying at 105 degrees centigrade for 24 hours, you are cooling it in a desiccator. Okay, this is how you perform the compression test or crushing test for a dry stone sample. In some cases, you may have to perform the compression test or crushing test for a saturated specimen. For saturated sample, we are placing the specimen in water for about 72 hours. Okay, you are placing the specimen in water for 72 hours and you are testing the sample in a saturated condition. Okay, you are testing the sample in a saturated condition. Then you are taking the specimen and you are testing it in a universal testing machine. You are conducting the test like 140 kilogram of load is applied per centimeter square. Then you will be observing the load at which the specimen is failing. Then the crushing strength or compressive strength of stone is given by the formula. Compression strength is equal to P by A, where P is the breaking load and A is the area of cross section. Okay, so I think that is clear. The only thing is you need to have a cubical sample of stone, cubical sample of having sides either 40 centimeter or 50 centimeter. It can be conducted in both saturated condition and dried condition. For dry condition, you are oven drying the sample at 105 degrees centigrade for 24 hours and allowing it to cool in a desiccator for 72 hours. This is how you perform for a dry sample. And in case if you want to go for saturated specimen, what you are doing is you are saturating it in water for 72 hours and then you are conducting the test. Once the test is conducted, once the sample is made ready, you are loading it using a compression testing machine. And how you are loading it? You are loading it at a rate of 140 kilogram per centimeter square. That is the rate of loading. 140 kilogram per centimeter square is the rate of load. You are observing the load at which the specimen breaks. Now, the load at which specimen breaks divided by area of cross section will give you the crushing strength or compressive strength of the stone, right? So that is how you determine the crushing strength of stone. Next, we are going to the second test for stone, that is known as the water absorption test. How you are going to conduct the water absorption test on stones? To determine the water absorption capacity of stone, you will be conducting the water absorption test. You have a stone sample. Okay, you are drying the stone sample in oven at 100 to 110 degrees centigrade for 24 hours. First of all, you need to obtain the dry weight of the sample. To obtain the dry weight of the sample should be perfectly dried, right? So how you are drying the sample? You are drying it in oven at 100 to 110 degrees centigrade for 24 hours. Then you are recording the weight of the sample as W1. After the sample is weighed and recorded, you are immersing the sample in distilled water at room temperature. At room temperature of 20 to 30 degrees centigrade, you are immersing the sample in distilled water. After the sample is immersed in distilled water for 24 hours, you are taking out the sample. You are taking out the sample and then you are wiping the sample with a very dry cloth. It's very simple. First of all, you have to keep it in dried condition at 100 to 105 degrees centigrade for 24 hours of time and you have to determine the weight. Then you are immersing it in water. You are immersing it in distilled water. Okay. Once the immersion in distilled water, that is also for a period of 24 hours, you are taking out the sample and you are making it dry by wiping using a cloth. Again, you are determining the weight. Now you have to determine what is the percentage of water absorption. To determine the percentage of water absorption, what you can do is, if W2 is the saturated weight of stone and W1 is the dry weight of stone, W2 minus W1 will give you the weight of water absorbed on the stone, right? So we need to find out the weight of water absorbed on the stone, W2 minus W1 divided by W1 will give you the dry weight of stone. W2 minus W1 by W1 into 100 will give you the water absorption value. Okay, so this is how you determine the water absorption in case of a building stone. Next important test which you have to conduct on a building stone is known as the toughness test. Toughness test, you call the toughness test as a hardness test. You call the not hardness test, you call the toughness test. One classical example of toughness test to be conducted is known as the impact test. Okay, now let us see what is an impact test. In impact test, here you can observe, you are taking a cylindrical sample of the stone. A cylinder of 25 millimeter diameter and 25 millimeter height is taken. A cylinder of 25 millimeter dia and 25 millimeter height. Then you have an instrument that is a steel hammer. A steel hammer having a weight of 20 Newton. You are having a cylindrical sample of 25 mm height and 25 mm dia. The ratio between the diameter and height of the sample should be 1:1. 25 mm height and 25 mm dia. Then you have a steel hammer having a weight of 20 Newton. Now using this steel hammer, you are allowing the steel hammer to fall on the surface of the stone. Initially you are conducting this test, allowing it to fall from a height of 1 centimeter. For the second blow, you are raising the height. You are allowing it to fall from a height of 2 centimeter. So 1, 2 like that, you are allowing the hammer to fall on the stone surface from different heights. Now you observe the height at which, now you have to observe the height at which the stone specimen is failing. I'll tell you once more, you have a cylindrical stone specimen and you have a hammer weight of 20 Newton. Initially, you are allowing the hammer to fall on the sample from a height of 1 centimeter. Again, you are changing the height to 2 centimeter. Like that, every time you are changing the height by 1 centimeter. Now you are observing the height of fall at which failure of the specimen is occurring, right? If the specimen is failing, once it is falling from a height of 0 to 13 centimeter, you call the specimen as a poor sample. If the height of fall is observed from 13 centimeter to 19 centimeter, then you call the specimen as a medium tough sample. And if the height of fall is noted as greater than 19 centimeter, it is a very large fall, then you call the stone as a rich tough stone. Because if the height is 19 centimeter means you have to provide a large compactive energy, or a large energy should be provided to make the stone fail, right? This is why depending on the increase in height, you will classify the degree of hardness. Poor, medium and tough, like that you will classify. Is it clear? So that is about the impact test of stone. Now there is another kind of test that is known as the hardness test. Hardness test, what do you call by hardness? Hardness means it is the resistance to abrasion. When the stones are rubbing against each other, there is a chance that the wear and tear may be occurring. If you have two stone samples, if you are rubbing the two stone samples together, what will happen? In course of time, there will be wearing on the surfaces of these two stones, right? So how much ability the stone is having to resist this wear due to abrading action. Abrading means rubbing against each other. You call it as the hardness. So there are several tests for conducting the hardness of stone. Dory abrasion test is one test, Duvall test is another test, and Los Angeles test is another kind of test. So this hardness test I am not explaining right now. I will be explaining it in detail, right? So we will move on to the next test. Already we have completed crushing strength, water absorption test, toughness index test, and hardness we will be seeing in detail. The next test we have to study is for the durability of stones, right? So all the tests you have seen till now, crushing strength is an indication of the compressive strength. It is something related to the strength property of the stone. Water absorption is related to its porous nature, because due to its porous nature, it will be able to absorb water in its pore spaces. Next test is the toughness test. Toughness test is also an indication of its strength, right? How much impact load can be resisted? It was determined by the strength test. Again, hardness test is another example of its strength. Dory, Duvall and Los Angeles are different tests by which you can determine how much is the resistance to aberration exhibited by the stone. Now we are going to see about the durability test to be conducted on stone. Now what are the different durability tests? The first test on durability first durability test which we are going to discuss is known as the Smith test. Let us see what is there in Smith test. Okay, Smith test. What you are doing in Smith test is you want to find out the presence of soluble matter in a sample of stone. You have a sample of stone and you have to find out the presence of soluble matter in it. What you are doing is you are taking some small chips or pieces of stones. Few chips or pieces of stones are taken and you are placing it in a glass tube. Once the stone chips are placed in glass tube, you are filling it with clear water. After an hour, you are vigorously stirring or you are vigorously shaking the test tube. If earthy matter is present, it will convert the clear water into dirty water. If the water remains clear, stone will be durable and it will be free from any kind of soluble matter. Is it clear? I'll explain once more. What you are doing is you will be taking a stone sample and you will be placing the stone sample. You will be taking a stone sample and the stone sample will be placed in a test tube, in a glass tube. Then you are filling the glass tube with clear water. After an hour, you are observing the condition of water in the test tube. If some earthy matter is present in the stone, the clear water will be getting converted into dirty water. If the water is remaining clean, if it is in clear condition, it indicates that the stone is in durable and it is free from any kind of soluble matter. So this is about the Smith test. Smith test is used to determine the presence of soluble matter, right? So we'll move on to the next test. So next test to be conducted on stone is known as the Brads test. What is happening in a Brads test? Let us see. Brads test means it is the test used to, Brad test is used to study the frost action. What do you mean by frost action? I think frost action we have already discussed. If water is entering into the pore spaces of stone, when a fall in temperature occurs, if there is a sudden fall in temperature, what will happen? The water present within the void spaces will be solidified and forming into ice. Once this temperature is increased and ice is melting, again water will come out and it will lead to a reduction in volume. This is frost action. So what is the resistance of stones to frost action? We are discussing using a Brad test. Very simple. A few pieces of stone specimen are immersed in a boiling solution of soda sulfate. I'll explain once more. You are taking some stone sample. You are taking some stone sample and the stone sample is immersed in a solution. What kind of solution? A boiling solution of sodium sulfate. After immersing the stone specimen in a boiling solution of sodium sulfate, you are keeping the stone suspended in it for a few days. And after a few days of time, you are again reweighting it. Already you have taken the dry weight of the sample. After the weight is taken, you are allowing it to immerse in a boiling solution of sodium sulfate. Once it is immersed in a boiling solution of sodium sulfate, you are taking it back and again you are checking its weight. You are reweighting it, right? So if there is a loss in weight, due to immersion in a sodium sulfate solution, you can conclude that there is effect of frost action. Okay, so that is about the Brad test. Now the next test which we are going to discuss is known as the acid test. Acid test on building stone to determine the weathering properties of stone. Acid test is a test conducted to determine the weathering properties of stone. Now let us see what is happening in acid test. It is used to determine the weathering property of stone. What you are doing is 50 to 100 gram of stone is taken, and you are placing the stone in a solution of hydrochloric acid, 1% strong hydrochloric acid. Now, the sample is allowed to remain in hydrochloric acid solution for 7 days. During the testing period, the solution should be agitated. After the end of 7 period, you are observing the sample. If the sample is having sharp edges and surface of the sample does not contain any powders, it indicates that the stone is of a very good quality. Is that clear? What you are doing in, why you are conducting an acid test? An acid test is conducted to determine the weathering property of stone. You are taking 50 to 100 gram of stone and it is placed in a solution of hydrochloric acid having 1% strength. 1% solution of hydrochloric acid, you are immersing 50 to 100 gram of stone. Then you are keeping the sample in solution for 7 days. It should be agitated at suitable interval. After the end of time period, you are observing the sample. If the sample is having sharp edges and the surface of the sample does not contain any powder, it indicates that the sample is having very high good quality building stones. So that is about the acid test. So now we have done 3 tests on durability. Smith test. Smith test was conducted to check the soluble matter, presence of soluble matter in stone. Broad test is conducted to check the frost resistance, and acid test is conducted to determine the weather resistance. Now there is one more test on durability. That test is known as the crystallization test. Now let us see what is happening in a crystallization test. In crystallization test, you are taking 3 test pieces. The test pieces are having 50 millimeter diameter and 50 millimeter height, and it is dried for 24 hours and the weight is determined. Now after the weight W1 is determined, you are suspending the specimen in 14% sodium sulfate solution for 16 to 18 hours at room temperature of 20 to 30 degrees centigrade. Once the dry weight is determined, you are suspending the sample in 14% sodium sulfate solution for a time period of 16 to 18 hours at room temperature. Now, after it is immersed in solution, you are taking it back and you are drying it in air for 4 hours. Now, after air drying, you are keeping it in oven for 24 hours at a temperature of 105 plus or minus 5 degrees centigrade, and you are allowing it to cool in room temperature. This cycle you are allowing to repeat for 30 cycles. What is the cycle? The cycle is alternately you are suspending it in sodium sulfate solution, again you are air drying, and again you are oven drying. This cycle is repeated for 30 times. Now you determine the weight of the sample W2 and you note down what is the difference between W2 and W1. And after every 5 cycle you will be determining the loss in weight. Now whatever is the change in weight happening, the change in weight will indicate the degree of decay of stone. Depending on the change in weight, you can say how much have the decay occurred, right? Now change in weight is equal to W2 divided by W1, where W1 is the original weight of the specimen and W2 is the weight of specimen after 30 cycles of the test. So this is how you determine the crystallization test. Now we have discussed several tests. Certain tests are for the strength criteria and certain tests are for the durability criteria. For strength, we have discussed the crushing strength, water absorption test, toughness index, and hardness. I told that there are 3 tests for determining hardness. We will be discussing it in detail. And for durability, we have discussed 4 tests: Smith test, Brad's test, acid test, and crystallization test. I think it is clear. Okay, now we will stop. In the next class, first of all, I will discuss about the hardness test. Okay, thank you.